If you've been burned by a marketing agency, you're going to want to watch this entire podcast. Hey, welcome back to the Contractor Click Podcast. My name is Emily. I'm here with the rest of the team, and we've got some amazing things planned for you today. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
what
are
we
intro. Thinking?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. What's going on,
good.
team? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Phenomenal.
Doing great.
I was going to call you Isaac.
Oh my gosh. Dude. Oh my
You got to
God.
watch last episode if you want to see what I'm talking about. Maddie, what about you?
It's great. Great morning.
Great morning.
Yeah.
What's exciting today?
What's exciting today? Today is exciting because we're here recording the podcast, but also because we're going to be doing lots of stuff like for our own agency today after the podcast.
Oh,
It's going to be a
there's a
great
lot,
day.
yes.
It's going to be a great day.
So that's the thing is we like to walk the talk. You see, a lot of times and here this lesson and this podcast is as much as retrospecting as it is to bring awareness and education to you and empowerment. Why? Because we've gone through the lessons ourselves. We've had instances in our agency's history of like, okay, what do we do in this situation here? And we want to empower you because when you know what you need to know about hiring a marketing agency or growth partner, at least you're educated. And people perish because of the lack of understanding.
Right.
So exciting episode. What do you got for us today, Emily?
Yeah, absolutely. I had been talking to some clients this week specifically as we kind of navigate this shift in the marketplace that we're seeing. And if you haven't watched our podcast recently, definitely take a listen to those because we kind of talk about it further. But as I've been talking to these clients and doing some of these discovery calls, you know what I keep hearing over and over again is, well, how can I trust you guys?
Yeah.
I've been burned.
Oh, yeah. The marketing agency world is probably one of the lowest trust industries. And let's talk about it. Why?
Right.
Why? So let's just open up Maddie, what do you got in this conversation?
So we're going to be talking about red flags, marketing agency red flags.
So what's one red
today.
flag that comes
All right,
to
so we're all going to say, I'm going to talk to you about my first red flag. So my first red flag is when I'm having these discovery calls or these onboarding calls, and the agency or the company that I'm working with is talking to me about how they don't own their Facebook page. They're not on their business manager. They're not admins on the business manager. Sometimes they don't even have a business manager on Facebook. They can't access their ad account. Like if you have people running your ads for you and you don't own all of the things, the assets in which you run ads out of, that's a huge red flag.
So you're talking
Huge
about
red
like
flag.
Google Ads too?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. I have
Google
right now, I
Ads,
have a
yeah.
company who we have to ask somebody else to give access to Lewis because Lewis has to run some ads. And it's I don't understand why this person doesn't have access to his own ad page.
Yeah, and this is, look, I've coached hundreds of marketing agencies later on this year. In July, I'm going to be giving a talk about SEO, but where I'm going with that is I've heard the questions, the conversations. Do we give clients ad account access? Do we give clients, like, what is it? What's proprietary? And that's the main thing that agencies are concerned of. It's like, okay, what if someone comes in, which has happened to us, by the way. Someone comes in, a well-known contractor comes to our world. They sign up. They want to learn what ads we run, what methods, strategies, systems, CRMs, automations, and then they package it up and they launch on their own. Now, initially, when that first happened to us, I'm like, man, I feel hurt, man. I feel like there's a sense of it. But fast forward, like we had a couple of clients that went with this individual. Like they literally signed up with that individual. And that client ended up coming back and he says, they just don't know how to manage the process at scale.
Right.
So you can take everything that we have, quite literally the same strategy, the same rich, you could try to replicate it, but this is where the expertise, excellence, and world class comes in. You just cannot learn that on a YouTube video. I used to be afraid of that. And what I ended up talking about it with Maddie, it's like, hey, what decision do we make here? Which was a real conversation. So our clients own their Google Ads accounts. Usually agencies that are afraid that we're doing something special. There's nothing special that you're doing. Nothing. So either you're really good at what you do or you're not. And it's as simple as that. So you see, at Contractor Click, we've made it our mission. Hey, we're going to be devoted to becoming excellent at what we do and world class. And every week, every Monday, what's the conversation around? Our crew values. And with that being said, we like to empower our clients. Now, is every account a home run out of the gates? No, there are some accounts that are absolutely stubborn, right? And we got to deal with all the things. Sometimes we create a new ad account for a client because they've been with another agency and now they only have a $50 a day limit or all of these things. So first thing is like the ad accounts. Who owns it? Your business owns it. Your business owns it. We've also seen the situation where there's business partners. And then one partner decides to leave, takes the ad accounts. So you've got to make sure you treat this like a business, like formalize it. Make sure it's registered under a centralized business email account, not your daughter's Gmail account. All respect to you, if you know, if you're a baby boomer, and you know you had someone else set all of this up. So that's another that's like and it hurts because sometimes these guys are losing money and they don't even know.
Right.
So account ownership, who has access to the account? An interesting one. I would love to hear your observations on this. I've had my fair of observations on this, just because we've seen clients get taken advantage of, and also we've seen clients had their ad accounts banned. Overseas ad account management.
It's not good.
Why isn't that good?
Because the chances of getting your ad account banned when you add somebody from overseas to your business manager or to your page is very high. And this is where the problem is. It's very easy to fix. But the problem is that a lot of these people don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to fix it on their own. And they have to depend on the agency to fix it. And I've worked with other agencies in the past that don't even know what a business manager is.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So how can they fix it if they don't even know how to find the problem?
Yeah.
So it's huge. It's huge. Like it's I see that all the time.
And it's like the way that the access gets shared from your account. So for example, I'm just going to get to the point here. For example, you have someone overseas that gets direct admin access to your ad accounts. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So, which means you own the ad account. The agency gets added as an agency partner, as a manager.
Correct.
Not the owner. Because the moment you start adding owners from overseas, it's a red flag for security. Yes or yes or
no? 100%.
Like seriously.
100%.
Huge.
And then we have clients that, hey, they leave another world, they come to us, and now it becomes this entire journey of pulling teeth. Like quite literally, it could get to thanks to pull my teeth. So ad account, same thing on Google Ads.
Right.
If you don't own your Google Ads, and that's pretty much it. Some agencies claim, hey, we own a pixel that's going to be a secret pixel. What do you say to that?
How can you possibly like own a secret?
It is
pixel?
possible to create one shared pixel.
Sure. But then what? Your data is going to be shared with everybody else? Like, how is that even your data anymore?
Yeah.
It's not your data. Right, so
It's
your
everybody else's
results
data.
are
Very skewed.
dependent on them, and look, that model works. It's not that we're saying it's not going to work, because it is working for some people. But for our clients and the partners that we attract to Contractor Click, we're partners,
Right.
and we empower you to have full ownership and domain of, hey, this is my company, this is my business. Come along to help me grow it, and then that's our model here at Contractor Click.
Right. Absolutely. So when we were having these discovery calls recently, we decided, we said, you know what, we're just going to make a podcast about this. We're just going to talk about it because it is so important. And a little bit about my background is, for 2.5 years before I came on the Contractor Click team, I was running a local business. And for those 2.5 years, we saw multiple marketing agencies come through. We worked with agencies that were, based overseas. We worked with agencies that were based here in the United States. We worked with agencies that were based locally. And without sharing too much details, because that's really not who we are. We like to keep our integrity, so we're not going to put anyone on blast. But we experienced, and me personally, I saw the experience that entrepreneurs and owners go through, where you're being told one thing and receiving something totally different. And I think one of the things that I love about Contractor Click and I love about our team is that if things aren't going well, we're going to just tell you that up front.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to weasel our way around it. We're not going to try to hide things. I think a lot of times that's why they're doing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're not giving you full access to your Facebook or your website because then you would be able to see the things that they're seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. So I fully understand and empathize with those owners and entrepreneurs that are out there going, well, how do I know I can trust you guys? Because I've been burned time and time and time again. We worked with companies that had monthly retainers of $500 a month. We worked with companies that had monthly retainers of $6,000 a month. And that's not including ad spend, right? So, you know, there were months where we were spending $30,000 on our marketing efforts. I've been there. I've sat in that seat. I've seen it happen over and over again. And now
got
I'm
burned.
sitting on the other side of
You
it.
got burned.
I got burned.
Yeah.
I miss your hands.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
I
the
remember
barbecue,
you
the
one
fries.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tell them that
bacon.
story.
Before
I don't know if you guys actually know this story. Tell them that story.
Before you started where you were on our team, you reached out to me. You're like, Maddie, I need you to look at my ad accounts and see if this is like, you know, correct or not.
That's our recruiting
yeah.
strategy, man.
No.
Yeah.
And I jumped in there
I
and
know,
I
we're
was
gonna get a bunch of
horrified. And
emails.
I'm like, Emily, this is horrifying. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to shut this off. This isn't going anywhere. This is like targeting a different. So that particular agency was charging a huge retainer, I remember.
A huge retainer.
And I was like, this is not
what
normal.
was the deal with that? Explain, break it down.
Yeah.
Because
So
was this
they-
a well-known in
I
the
don't
space?
remember.
this a
It
well-known-
was. It was a
Yeah.
very well-known agency
So
in the
what
space.
was happening?
What was happening? So it was a generic. It's almost like this is what happens. Like these bigger agencies, they have like this generic strategy that then they just implement with everybody, and then they just change the creatives. And it could be if, like, for example, a concrete company is gonna have the same strategy as like a chiropractor and a dentist office and an HVAC company. And the problem is that when you really look down and you get into the nitty gritty of like understanding Facebook, I won't take a chiropractor if a chiropractor offers me like $1 million a month, because that's not what that strategy is completely different
Right.
than
Compliance,
than the contractor
everything,
strategy.
right.
Than the,
100%.
you know, can I dabble as a person who understands Facebook ads and Facebook ads
Yeah.
manager and the strategy? Can I dabble in all of yes, I can. I can run an ad for anyone, because at the end of the day, anyone can run an ad for anyone. All that information is available. You can get on calls with Facebook. Facebook will give you all the information you want. Like, you can find that information anywhere. But I will never dabble in like medical world or like beauty world or like health world, because all of that strategy is very unique to that industry. And when you have these big giant agencies that then create the same strategy for every industry, then you run into the issues that they were running into, which was everything was messy. Everything was messy. Like, there were certain strategies that were not fit for the industry that she was a part of.
And there were ads that, you know, I remember when I called you, there were ads that you were taking a look at, and you said, Emily, these ads haven't been touched for like 3 weeks.
Right.
And they were just sitting there.
running and sitting
They
there
were
and
just
sitting
running.
there and generating like high, like sucking impressions. And
Right.
it's like $500, $600, like with 0 leads. I was like, what's
Right.
happening here?
And we were one of those companies that we had a high, you know, we understood the importance of marketing. Obviously, we didn't even mind spending on marketing, right? If you're spending $30,000 to $40,000 a month in marketing, and that's digital marketing, guys, not including the mailers, all the other pieces that we were doing as well, you know, we fully understood the value of marketing. And that's what ticks me and bothers me so much. And I just want to speak to those business owners and entrepreneurs for a second. Don't let the experience that you had with one marketing agency, or maybe it was multiple, because trust me, for me, it was about 5. Don't let that experience, though, discredit the value that digital marketing has on your business. Because the reality is that in order for your business to thrive and succeed, you need to have some form of digital marketing and digital presence. The key here is finding the right people that serve your niche and the right market, and know your avatar that you're speaking to figure out how to move you forward. That's the key, right? And so I just remember the value though, just, this was about 8-9 months before I even joined the team. So this was long before I even had the idea of coming to Contractor Click. But I remember the value that conversation brought me.
Was that a selling point for you to come on board?
At that point, I wasn't even.
No, she
we
was
hadn't
still
even
working on moving that business forward.
And we hadn't even had a conversation. This was just as a
I need
friend.
more Emily's, guys.
Yeah.
This was as a friend what you were doing for me, and I also remembered, you guys didn't charge us for that. I remember the value though of just going. I went home to my husband and I said, man, the integrity that they have just to tell me what's going on, not charge me, not try to you. And you even said, I'll never forget this. You said, Emily, I'm so sorry. I can't fix this though. You said, I can consult with you. I can coach you. I can give you advice, but I don't know this niche and industry and I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Right.
So
That's good.
if you're an owner out there, like I had this call yesterday with someone, I said, I'm not trying to sell you. I'm not. I was like, we're looking for partners.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're looking for partners. I'm not trying to sell you because honestly, I've seen it done poorly. I've been on the other side and that's, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
I fully agree. I think that the transparency aspect is huge. How many conversations have you had, Emily, with clients that you ask, hey, like what was your SEO strategy looking like before? What was your cost per lead? And they are like, I don't know.
Right.
That's a big red flag. If you're in communications with an agency and they're not willing to tell you what it is you're spending and what your results look like, very big red flag. But I also think that it's very important that, of what you mentioned, making sure that you're a right fit, because you don't want to, you have a conversation with an agency and you see marketing agency. Marketing is what I need. But that agency maybe isn't doing the type of marketing that your business needs. If you're a company that's looking for leads and you're communicating with a content creation marketing company or a marketing agency, you're probably not going to get the results you're looking for.
And that's a misunderstanding a lot of home improvement contractors. They think, hey, I'm going to have someone that's going to help me blow up on social media because they've heard the stories, but they don't realize that what they need is a lead generation driven program, not a branding program with the graphics. And like that's a long tailed strategy that if we were to talk about this, probably it's going to take 6-8 months for you to start to see some sort of return. And that's a big one.
That answer doesn't look very attractive.
So misalignment,
right?
yes.
Like some agencies are terrified to tell their clients, hey, trust us for 6 months and you will see a return.
So how do they sell? How do they get away with that?
I think that's the question. I think that's the question of
videos?
Yes, that's the question of the year. I think it all
What
matters.
have you heard on the sales pitch?
I think being very transparent, not being very transparent with the pricing is what I've heard. People maybe giving a range. If you're speaking to an agency and they're not really willing to tell you what you're going to pay and what you're paying for and what
Like
results
the
to
results.
expect. Exactly.
So if they don't want to, and this is an interesting conversation because there's two lanes here. And as a marketer, like marketers, what we do is we create promotions and offers and all of this. Like we all get jazzed and excited about how do we create a promotion that will drive in leads. But here's what I did to say is what promotion and offer can you stand behind? And like quite literally, there's a lot of offers like this result, get this result, or you don't pay. So what does that mean immediately? It means the following is if you don't get that result, they're gonna say next month, you know what? We're gonna eat up half of this month here, and you don't pay us until you start to get more of those results. So they just stretch the billing cycle. Before you know it, you don't get what you came for, and then 2 months pass by, 3 months, it's a 3-month lifetime, 30, 40, 50% churn. And the model doesn't work long term. The other one is like we've seen a lot. And look, it works for some people. It's not like it doesn't work. It works for some people. But the thing is, can you stand behind your word, what you say you're going to do for the client on the upfront here? And that's why we like to have 2 to 3 calls before we partner up with someone, because we like to get to know, number one, do our core values align?
Right.
Number two is, does your brand value, uh, can you stand behind the brand value? There have been contractors that come in, we help them grow, blow up, and it's hard. It hurts me to see them that they can't stand behind their work and their value, and they go out of business. So marketing, it's only going to speed up the results. And if what you're providing on the back end is not aligned, so this is why we take a lot of time in the discovery process now, because we've seen guys like trying to go from one state to the other. This happened like 2 years ago. There was this guy who was crushing it for good human, like at the core, I think he's a good human, but just didn't know how to run the business. He was selling jobs. Before you know it, all the jobs started falling apart. Couldn't stand behind his work. He quite literally had to move out of state. I'm like, I don't feel good about that. So it's important for us when we're looking at these relationships, where our business model at Contractor Click is to work with ethical businesses that can stand behind their word. In return, we're going to do the same.
Yeah.
This is why we can't. This is the biggest red flag. If someone promises you X result without running advertising or doing a deep dive into your accounts to be able to determine, it's malpractice.
Yeah.
It's because you're not going to be able to diagnose exactly what it is that can be done for you. So it's the biggest red flag is you want to hear a pitch, and you might hear what you want to hear on the sales call, which makes you want to buy from them. Friendly person, they know how to smile, they know how to play the role. But at Contractor Click, we made a decision, hey, that's not who we are. We're committed to being the best version of ourselves for ourselves and work in integrity.
Right.
And we're not going to lie to clients. We're not going to lie to prospects. In fact, if we ever have to change our core values to earn someone's business, we're not a good fit.
Yeah.
And that's all good. And there's been plenty of people that we've turned away, and others that have said no at the closing table. Okay, cool.
Right.
It doesn't work out.
Right. Marketing is math. Right. There's so much math that's involved in marketing, in the basic aspect of, again, I was having some discovery calls this week with clients, and it made me laugh. And that's why I started laughing, and I looked over at Lewis while you were saying that, because Lewis knows that I'm going to be the same person that I walk into every room and have a conversation with every single person. And sometimes that can come across a little, Danny and I, we can both be a little aggressive, and Lewis and Maddie balance us out very, very nicely on that. So, maybe if you want someone who's like comfy and nice, Lewis is definitely your go-to, but that's not going to be me. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm so sorry, guys. But it's funny because I had this client on this discovery call. He asked me, he said, so if I spend $3,000, what's my average lead? And I just told him, I said, listen, we would have to do so much back end. We're not going to tell you something right now. We're going to do back end research before you sign on. That's fine. Let us do some research on the back end before you sign on. But I can tell you this, it all comes down to what your average cost per lead is in that area. Yeah. Right? We're not making something up. No one knows. So
if someone guarantees you out of the gate, is the biggest red flag in that territory, because unless they're running. And the other question is, do you want multiple advertisers using a similar strategy in the same territory? If they do know.
Or do you want exclusivity?
Which that's not a red flag. Like, there are people that they don't mind. I want to have multiple. At Contractor Click, we do like to offer exclusivity for a reason. Correct. It's like the strategy just works better when we're not doing it for multiple people in the same place.
And also, like, personally, again, everyone has a different business model. We don't want to play against ourselves.
No.
Like, we're playing to win. Yeah. So Maddie's like, why would I play a game of chess against myself?
Actually, we lose revenue by not taking multiple.
We do.
At Contractor Click, we're literally losing, I don't know, maybe $60,000 a month.
We're turning people away.
It's interesting. This is one of the reasons we've diversified and opened up ourselves to serve luxury home improvement contractors, deck and fence builders, pavers, installers, outdoor living specialists. So the thing is, when you have multiples that are not necessarily advertising the same thing, the strategy works beautiful. But when you have the same concrete coating ad running from one and the next, even if you change it, Does it make it complicated or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think what you said is it's very hard, especially when you're talking to a business owner that's looking for results. When you tell them, "Hey, I'm not going to guarantee you results, but I am going to test. I'm
Right.
going to do my best. I'm going to A/B test so that we can figure out what that number looks like." I think more importantly, that's a very hard thing to say, especially when you're trying to,
Right.
become business partners at that point. But that upholds integrity.
Yeah.
Because at,
Oh,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point, like I think that's what it comes down to, the
Right.
crew values. Like, I will not tell you I can do something that I don't know if I can or can't, but I promise you I'm going to do everything to do or to figure out what it is
Exactly.
I have to do.
And then once we figure it out, right? So like here again, it goes back to the math of, say someone comes to me and they say, "Oh, well, I'm going to do a $3,000 Facebook spend, and our average cost per lead, our average CPL for our Facebook clients in that area is, $45." Okay, so you can expect anywhere from
Yeah.
60 to 70 leads.
Exactly.
It's math. If you want more leads than that, let's increase your spend. Right? Like it's just simple math. But I think that's the thing is a lot of these marketing agencies, we go back to red flags, a lot of these marketing agencies.
Let's just clarify something.
Yeah.
A lot of these are not marketing agencies.
That's it.
We
That's
keep
it
calling
right
them marketing agencies. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
there.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're an installer, you got a truck. Yeah, you could say you have a company, but you're an installer. Like you're the salesperson, the installer. When you look at an agency and a team of people and a structure to support you. And there was a point in time, like I said, a lot of this comes back to me retrospecting in my journey because I've been doing digital marketing for 17 years. This is not my first thing in digital marketing here. I've done it for myself, multiple e-commerce stores, an adult store, fragrance store, both of them, took them up like a roller coaster, Christian. I mean, I learned how to lose money in that one pretty badly and make some money. And so I know the pain of putting my money to work for me. And I said I got ripped off by a Chinese contractor online. And right along the way, I started discovering the world of hiring people overseas, freelancing. Back in the day, Skype was the thing to communicate with people. So I would go to all these forums and some people would call themselves agencies and other people would call themselves freelancers, etc. And I started learning about the business model of digital marketing as a service. And a lot of trainers would say, hey, you can open up your own marketing agency and just hire someone on freelance or whatever it is on the Philippines. And you broker the service where they charge you X, you charge the business owner X, and you have them, which is almost like, it's not white label, but it could be considered white label. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because in my knowing what I now know, I would not consider that to be a true agency model, right? You're more like a broker. You're brokering the service, right? Gary Vee has a different term for that. I don't know what it is, where he buys the toys on the street and he resells them. What does he tell that? Not a broker. You guys know? He flips. He's a flipper.
A reseller?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people
He
in the
flips,
business of
right?
flipping so
So
much. Yeah.
it's like, what are we doing here? And a lot of times when I look at newcomers into the space, and by the way, everyone, like, this is a free world, man. Like, you want to succeed, you want to crush it, great. But do right by your client.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this episode. Yes, go ahead and build a team. Like, build a company that serves your clients at the highest possible levels. This is the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters is if the client on the other side is winning.
Right.
It's harder to control when you yourself, as the owner of quote unquote agency, don't control what gets done for the client. Because now you're putting that client's business, website, SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads on someone else's hands. And when the client comes up to you, now you go and find answers. I'm sharing this because I deal with agency owners who leverage white label. There's nothing wrong with leveraging white label. There's nothing wrong with it. There's been seasons in our agency where we're like, hey, do we white label things?
Mm-hmm.
And it just hasn't worked out for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we do everything in-house. We have overseas team members.
Mm-hmm.
Any front line here, we leverage this team here to communicate with clients and manage our clients' monies, their budgets, their advertising spend,
And I think,
the copy, the content.
yeah, to that point, though, this is an important aspect of it, right? Okay, another big marketing agency red flag, in my opinion, is if you don't have a dedicated account manager, or you're working with like a nameless, faceless brand, right? And to
Yeah.
your point, Danny, that in our opinion, that doesn't really even qualify as like a marketing agency, because a marketing agency should also be
You can't
helping
compare
you.
them both. Like if
No.
you're comparing that scenario with our agency, dude, we have a team.
We have
that is growing exponentially.
Correct.
Every month we're
Even
hiring.
here in Florida.
Every week we're hiring people.
Truly,
So
truly.
it's not even, we're not even in the same league.
No, we're not. And to that point, again, to me, like it comes back to what you are desiring. If you're desiring a full service agency, a true marketing agency that has the knowledge and the expertise to speak to you in a few different areas of, and how it all, like Maddie has said before, how all the pieces of the puzzle come together, how all pieces of the pie work together to actually create the pie, right? Then you need to be looking for an agency that has experience and knowledge in SEO, that has experience and knowledge in website building, that has experience and knowledge in Facebook, Google Ads, YouTube remarketing, AI automations, that even knows what AI automations are, that's giving you access to a CRM. All these things are what makes a full marketing agency, right? What we're seeing more and more nowadays, to Lewis's point, is those content creation agencies or lead generation agencies. One or the other, right? Content creation agencies, they can give you this beautiful, for lack of better words, like
there's
sexy
nothing wrong
looking
with-
thing.
like,
And
there's
there's nothing wrong with
wrong.
that. And
Nothing.
if you have a certain brand, that may be what you need.
But if you're being misguided that you're gonna have
Correct.
an ROI month one out of
Exactly.
the gates.
If you want a content creation person who's going to give you something that's like sexy and beautiful and like viral TikToks and all these different things, that's fantastic, guys.
Yeah.
Go for that. Hire that person. But don't neglect, especially for our home improvement contractors and owners, do not neglect the value of your residential lead flow, right? Like that's
your brand,
your brand,
own, yes.
your brand,
The other thing,
and your organic.
it's interesting, right? So, there's this one friend of mine. He's a friend. He owns a business in the trade, and he sends me. He's like, "Hey, is this real?" Sends me this guy says, "Hey, we've been serving clients for the past 20 years. Great promise, great ad, great hook." And he sends me the ad. I go and look at the ad library, and I go and look at that Facebook account. That account they only have like 2 followers. Like literally the Facebook page that's making all these big bold promises that I don't know how many estimates that we're promising in literal revenue numbers, which by the way, from an FTC perspective and point, like you're violating the FTC. I was about to curse right now. You're just exposing yourself as a company. Yeah, because the FTC doesn't want you to promise revenue. You can't make guarantees of revenue. So it's an interesting thing. So you go and find out, hey, these guys have been around for like 1 month, making these big bold promises, 20-year experience, and yeah, you might bring. So the question is like, where was that experience forged? Is it within that entity? So at Contractor Click, we were formerly Concrete Marketing Crew. We disclosed that 100%. Hey, these are Concrete Marketing Crew clients that came along with us. They still with us. All of our testimonials, these are clients that are active clients of ours.
I was just about to speak to that because again, I was doing some research last night, went down deep rabbit holes, and man, some of these agencies, these are not real reviews, guys. Do your research. Please, please, please.
Like they have their friends doing videos. It's an interesting thing.
I mean, please, guys, like hear me when I say this. Again, coming from someone who sat in that seat for 2.5 years, hear me when I say this. You have to be honest with yourself. And if something looks too good to be true, It probably is. So if you're looking at a marketing agency that has 80, I saw this last night, literally 80,000, this is a big agency, 80,000 followers on Instagram, but the past 4 Instagram posts that they have posted have 0 likes and 0 engagement. 0. Like I'm talking 0.
Yeah.
You should be concerned. They are buying followers.
Correct.
Yeah.
They are buying reviews. So yes, you have a marketing agency that has 500 reviews. Okay, it's fantastic that they have 500 reviews. How many of those are legitimate?
Okay, so this is what you do. I love that.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, we
red
got, we
flag.
got a few more
Huge one.
minutes. This
Huge
is an
red
interesting
flag,
one.
guys.
So
That's a
do
huge
your
misconception.
research.
A lot of followers.
I want you to do me a solid. If you're not following us at Contractor Click Instagram, make sure you follow us. Give us a real follow. We like real followers.
Yes.
Connections. I don't even like the word followers. Let's just connect with each other.
Right.
But I want you to go and see who our quote unquote followers are. They're real businesses, contractors. We might have maybe 15% of them are agency owners or not tagged with any specific industry. But they're following us. Thank you for connecting with us and following us. We appreciate your follow. And then the rest of them are real businesses. You just look it up.
Yes.
It's real. So if when we go to our YouTube right now, we have, I don't know, 1,200 subscribers. Those are real subscribers. When you look at the views, those are real views. Do we want to get those numbers up? Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. But that's why we keep working on our own stuff so that we can produce better content. Point I want to make is this is a real company. Oftentimes, one of the red flags is when you go and do research and they send you to some other third-party review site that there's no validation, there's nothing to back up their claims. You might be misguided. There was a point in time where I was working as a marketer and SEO and Google Ads for this transportation company. And their business model was to broker services. And what I would be doing, I don't feel good about saying this, is I would be creating fake reviews for these guys. And it's like mymovingcompany.com, and like there would be like some other
Wow.
triple B and yellow pages. Christian, you're going to love this. I would be setting up new IP addresses, new proxies, setting up multiple computers, resetting the MAC addresses. Like this is high level, setups here.
Hi,
Yeah,
Danny.
to create new accounts. This was before I got divorced, so I was just trying to my
Before
old self. This was
she
the
came
old
into the
self.
picture.
Yes,
Exactly.
Maddie had.
your shining star.
Point I want to make is everything was fictitious about that company.
Yes. Yes.
The salespeople were like, "It's our movers, it's our company. You can trust us. We have this much experience." After that, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm like, I'm fighting these 1-star reviews constantly, and I was just so tired. Like, for every one star, I needed to have 6 5-star reviews just to break that out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're a business, man, you don't have time to waste your money and your energy with individuals that don't want to be transparent with
Yep.
you. And the other thing is, I would invite you to revisit your core values and make an assessment of whoever it is you're going to partner with.
Yep.
When you come and work with Contractor Click, I'm going to be very transparent and honest. You're listening to me. Thank you for giving me your vote of confidence, but you will not be working with me directly. I'm very expensive to work with. $250,000, we'll have a conversation, a partnership. I get equity in your company. Aside from that, I have an amazing team here that's going to be able to take care of you. But I'm not going to promise you, hey, you're going to work with me
Right.
directly. And here is where I come in. I oversee strategy in different departments, and I have the conversation. And team, is it valuable for me to be in these conversations with these guys and the strategy conversations?
Yeah, 100%.
Do I give you guys good insights?
Insights, but support.
Support,
Right? Because
that's my main job.
I'm going to come to
Are
you
those
for
clients?
support.
Am I the one managing them?
No.
Talking to them? I have no bandwidth for that. Now, if you want to come in and talk about partnerships and scaling, you want to exit in a different scale.
Right.
I only have a couple of seats available throughout the year to be able to do this. I do this with agency owners right now. And where I'm going with that is I'm not promising you over the phone, or you're going to get to work with me directly. Now, maybe that's what you want and desire. And if that's the case, Contractor Click would not be the right fit for you. She's not working directly with me, and it's cool. It's fine. But I can tell you this team right here that's executing the strategy, and the ones that are virtual right now, logging in, thank you for watching, thank you for all the hard work. They do a heck of a job. And they're world class at what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of them. So everything that you get here is a support. It's not centralized in me, which means if I get sick, do our clients' results suffer?
No.
No.
If I'm going on a trip, do our clients' results suffer?
Nope.
It's everything dependent on me right now for you to
No.
crush it for clients and
Not
get
at
the
all.
5-star reviews.
No.
No.
Not at all.
So that is the pros of hiring a marketing agency
Right.
that has it together, where the results do not depend on one person there, because that used to be an old model we ran a few years ago.
Right.
Mhm.
And did it work?
No.
It worked for results,
Yeah.
but then it didn't work when I was sick.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Where's Danny? We need
Where's Danny? I need to talk to Danny. Before
Danny,
you
I need
know
you
it.
to do this.
It's not scalable.
So if you've been burned before by getting sold into an agency, and is the owner, is the practitioner, and is the salesperson, their bandwidth in a day, I'm sorry,
Right.
they're not going to be able to serve you at a higher level. Where as a team, we have the scale to do that and the support, and it's not cheap.
Yeah. And
Can't
so
charge you $500 for that,
no.
because I want to pay these guys really well. We were talking
Right.
about the cars they want to drive now. Now I'm inspired to go ahead and make sure we make
Oh
it
my
happen
gosh.
here. Look at it, right? Yeah, I'm serious. Now,
But-
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Is that somehow
the
true?
reality, yeah, but the reality of this conversation is we know that Contractor Click is not for everyone, and we're not trying to be for everyone. So if you have an agency, right, the Bible says that Jesus was, all things to everyone. And so here's the thing. Can we strive in our humanity to try to be as great as we can be for everyone? Yes. But is that going to be in all lanes? No. And we know that. So for us, we look at these podcasts too as educational. So
Yes.
some people might say, oh, well, why are you giving away this free information to people? Why are you putting marketing agencies per se on blast, right? We're a team. We should all be doing this together. Well, in a sense, yes, we are. We're all running in the same lane. But the reality is that we truly desire for your business to succeed, for you and your family. And so giving away this information, giving you red flags that you should look out for, it does nothing but actually help us in the long run, because we know that we want to partner with the right type of people. So we're not trying to partner with the people that right now are starting up and that only have this very small amount of ad spend, because we know that for a team of, as we said, even our Florida-based team, these are real people. Your account manager is a real person who lives right here in beautiful Boca Raton. That's a reality, right? So we're not trying to sell you something that we're not. And I would actually encourage you, feel free to research us. You want to look us up online? Go for it. We have nothing to hide. We're all real people here. Check out our Instagrams. No, truly, check out our Instagrams
Shout out to your
personally.
replaceable father.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I mean,
You
that's
can find, but all of our things. You're
find
gonna
all
find
of us. Yeah.
You're gonna find Danny's stuff. You're gonna find Lewis's stuff. You're gonna find Maddie's stuff, Isaac's stuff, Emily's stuff. You'll see that we talk about our faith. We're actively involved in our church. These are all pieces of our life that you're able to find because we're not hiding anything. So whether you end up going with Contractor Click, whether you end up partnering with a different marketing agency, please know the value of this conversation is, have your head on a swivel, truly, when you're making these decisions.
yeah.
Have your head on a swivel, ask the hard questions, and do your research. These agencies should not be hiding anything from you. And if they are, then there's probably something that's going to rise up inside of you and say, this isn't a good decision. So, I hope that this conversation was of value today. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think it was. We'll do plenty more talks on
100%.
other red flags that we see along the way, but
We were talking with Christian here before, Podcast Junkies, and he's talking about him sending this podcast over to individuals that would benefit from it, because this conversation is relevant. I mean, you're gonna be faced with making a decision of who's my partner for this season in my business. We're looking for companies that want to grow exponentially and have a healthy budget to advertise. If you can only advertise $20 a day on ads per se, we're just not the right company. We built to scale, and that's our model. And what we're looking to do in these times of uncertainties, we want the companies that are serious about moving forward, surviving and thriving. You can't do that when you're playing on a smaller scale. And for the individuals that are just starting out, we want to empower you. We want to bring you free information. There's also coaching opportunities, the Code Master Lab, which is great, where we have real relevant conversations. We've had multiple individuals come through the program, and they're launching their own ads. They're running their own business. We have a client that said, hey, man, I need to pause ads because I'm already too booked out. Now they're learning how to build a team and how to grow a real business.
Right.
That's what we want to do, is empower you here. So thank you for coming in here, team. We really appreciate this conversation. And for you on the other side, if you're looking forward to learn more about how Contractor Click can help you, go to contractor.click today. And I'll see you on the next episode.